What's going on, everybody? So you can tell by the title, there's a lot to talk about in terms of the Lenovo Legion Go. Apparently, people are having a lot of issues with it, mainly because it's a Windows 11 device that has a screen that is native portrait mode. Now, not to jump right into it, but with the ROG Ally, it's actually one of the few handhelds that is native landscape, which proves to be a lot more compatible with all different types of games. And that's probably the reason why I've been having a lot more luck with the ROG Ally opposed to the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck is also native portrait mode. But besides the screen, there are a lot of other issues with the Legion Go that I really didn't want to exist. First and foremost, the secretive software that Lenovo hasn't really been talking about that comes with the Legion Go, which is Legion Space. Now, I was looking forward to Legion Space. I was even considering picking up a Legion Go just to have some co-op action going on. But a lot of people are saying that Legion Space actually gets in the way of playing a lot of games on the handheld. For example, most of the time, external controllers don't connect to the Legion Go with a good number of games on the handheld. And that's really unfortunate. I know that the Legion comes with detachable controllers, which are supposed to act like external controllers, but it doesn't have a middle piece to connect and combine the two controller sides into one. So a lot of people are going to just pick up a PlayStation or Xbox controller and want to play with that. But unfortunately, with a lot of games right now, external controllers are having a lot of issues. And personally, I never really had external controller issues with the ROG Ally to the point it just absolutely didn't work, especially with Steam games. And I'm assuming that this issue is mainly caused by Windows 11, Legion Space, and numerous drivers for the device. It's most likely pronouncing control to the detachable controllers opposed to any external controller. So most likely you'll just be able to use external controllers for player 2 or 3 and not player 1. With ROG Ally, I thought this was an issue, but it actually has an option to disable the embedded controller. So the onboard ROG Ally controls don't matter anymore. I'm not sure why they don't have that for Legion Space, but I hear from a lot of people that Legion Space is kind of underbaked. Now, I don't have the handheld, but I have been watching a lot of videos on it, and people seem to have the same issue with resolution, controls, and just the software overall. Now, I find this unfortunate, but the thing is, I saw this coming with the Lenovo Legion Go. It has very complicated hardware that needs a lot of taping up and fixing so it can work properly with the external controllers. You just have to have a little more patience because Lenovo is getting a lot of user feedback from the newly purchased devices over the course of this week and the next month. You're going to see a lot of fixes to the Lenovo Legion Go. But as of right now, it seems like everything else is the issue besides the SD card slot. Now, I also find the SD card slot issue to be unacceptable, but at least ASUS is rectifying the issue by RMAing the appropriate ROG Allies. But mostly a lot of people just don't want to break their SD card, so they're not really using it. Hey, it's not a perfect world. You're going to have exactly what you want, and that thing that you want is going to be exactly what you don't want sometimes. With the Lenovo Legion Go, I kind of saw the controller issues coming, and it makes sense that those detachable controllers are hardwired into the device and mostly going to be prioritized over anything else, just to have a more seamless experience with the onboard hardware opposed to any external hardware like Xbox or PlayStation controllers. But yeah, for the most part with the resolution, that's definitely a portrait mode 16 by 10 screen issue. And that's something that is going to be extremely difficult to fix. A lot of games are just not going to work for months on end. Most likely you're going to have to rally up with a bunch of other people to let Lenovo know that one specific game or multiple are not working with the current resolution and are having issues with windowed and full screen mode. Besides the actual size of the device, because a lot of people are saying that it's bigger than it looks. That's saying a lot. Besides that being the main issue that I have, and really the only issue I have, it seems like Legion Space has a lot to iron out, but also the screen may be a permanent issue that I will avoid Legion Go because of. And I find that to be the saddest part about all of the reviews that I'm seeing. A lot of reviews are very positive about the device, but I find the portrait only mode screen and having no VRR makes a lot more sense, finding out that it is a native portrait screen screen. And the reason I find that so important is because that's going to prove very difficult for the Legion Go to be compatible with newer titles and even older titles. And the reason why the Steam Deck has so many issues with countless games is mainly because of the native portrait screen and Linux on top of that. But still, adding Windows 11 will increase compatibility, but the portrait screen may as well just be a nail in the coffin for the Lenovo Legion Go. But yeah, the SD card slot doesn't seem to be an issue, so that's great, but everything else seems to be very complicated with the device. I'm assuming this is the type of device that when you fix one thing, something else breaks. Because again, the hardware for the Legion Go just seems very complicated and unique. But I'm still very positive about this device. I really hope that it does very well. And hopefully Lenovo releases a Legion Go 2 that comes with a native landscape screen and is a lot smaller, so I can actually call it a handheld. Right now, it is borderline a laptop with detachable controllers. It's kind of more like a tablet because it's almost the same exact size as an iPad mini. And in some dimensions, it's larger and thicker. And I'm the kind of person that loves putting protective cases on their devices, especially handhelds. There's a new case that's coming in for the ROG Ally that I'm going to review on this channel. But if I would have picked up the Legion Go, I probably wouldn't put a protective case on it. Or if I did, it would make the device even clunkier and heavier. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense to buy right now because I'm just going to be paranoid about protecting the thing in the first place. Most likely, I'll just put some kind of protective skin on it and screen protector, but that's about it. But with ROG Ally, I got a new case coming and it's badass. And the same went for the Steam Deck. I had about 3 cases for it because the Steam Deck is big, but it's borderline not too big. With the Legion Go, it's a lot taller, so it is, in more ways than one, a lot bigger than the Steam Deck. And that's just my personal threshold when it comes to handhelds. But besides that, I know the Legion space is going to get ironed out and it's going to improve over time because that's just what happens with hardware, especially handhelds, for the past few years. But in terms of the native portrait screen, I highly doubt that's something they can actually fix. And it's going to prove to have a lot of difficulties with compatibility in the future, just like portrait screens always do. From the start with the Steam Deck, a lot of people really didn't want it to come with a 16:10 screen because that's always been an issue for PC games. But it seems like those screens are either just cheaper because they're not on demand as much as 16:9 screens, or they just like the extra play space. I personally wouldn't have hated the Legion Go if it came with a native landscape screen because native landscape and Windows 11 just mix together a lot better than a portrait screen. But besides the hardware issues and just everything that needs to be rectified with the Legion Go, it seems like the ROG Ally actually performs better than the Legion Go in a lot of instances in terms of power efficiency and just performance. But of course, the Legion Go does have a lot more battery, so you can play games for a lot longer than on the ROG Ally. In fact, a surprisingly long amount of time. You can play games at 30 watts for about an hour and 15 minutes. That's incredibly impressive. And they're only going to make this better in time. With the ROG Ally, silent mode and performance mode have been improved. At first, performance mode was lacking in certain instances, especially at 15 watts, and silent mode was almost unusable. But right now, it seems like with a little tweaking, you can play pretty much almost any game in silent mode if you tweak it enough. So as of right now, in 15 watt mode on the Legion Go and the ROG Ally, the ROG Ally seems to be performing marginally better than the Legion Go. And a lot of people are saying it's because of the resolution, because the Legion Go is stuck at 1200p while the ROG Ally is at 1080p. Now that is true, but there have been tests at 800p on both devices and some tests at 1200p on both devices. While technically the ROG Ally isn't truly at 1200p, the settings were set to 1200p, and it seems like the ROG Ally performed quite a bit better than the Legion Go, and that honestly surprised me. I was watching all of these videos and expecting the Legion Go to perform a lot better, but of course the Legion Go does perform better when it reaches the 22 watt mark and higher because of its higher performing RAM. But the Legion Go was just released. Now, there have been some instances where the ROG Ally performed worse than it did with newer updates. So with the Legion Go, I can't always guarantee that it's going to perform better with newer updates. Sometimes the updates may hinder performance, just like with the ROG Ally. That just happens with Windows devices sometimes, especially Ion Neo, 1X Player, and all that. Those devices have been having a lot of issues for a long time just because of Windows and its software. But yeah, it's just pretty cool that the Ally gets a little bit of a win, and people understand that Windows handhelds, especially in the mainstream market, are just complicated. Sometimes they don't work like the company expected them to when they mass produce it, especially the SD card slots. But it's also too soon to tell if the Legion Go is truly worse than the ROG Ally. Personally, for me, I like the ROG Ally better because it's a lot smaller and it has a native landscape screen. Yes, the 1080p screen is a lot better than the 1600p screen on the Legion Go, simply because it is native landscape, and that's apparently rare to find. So that means that the ROG Ally is a rarity. It hasn't messed up on me once, especially with the SD card. I have, like I said before, 20 SD cards for my ROG Ally, and I pretty much play it all day, at work, at school, everywhere. And the SD card hasn't really messed up on me. I play it at 30 watts for 10 hours straight yesterday with an SD card that has been described as sketchy, and nothing malfunctioned. Still, till this day. And I've had the Ally since day one. But unfortunately, some people did experience these SD card issues and they had a sour taste in their mouth. So now a lot of people on YouTube probably sold their ROG Ally or just returned it for a Legion Go. And honestly, I think that's a little bit of a mistake, mainly because of the size and because a lot of people that sent it back to ASUS mostly got a 100% working product in return so far. But with the Legion Go, I think most of the issues are coming from the software. I've personally never been a fan of Lenovo. I never truly liked their ThinkPads or anything like that. Lenovo's okay, but for the most part, I just don't like their aesthetic for most, if not all, of their computers. It's just not my style. But Lenovo has released a lot of dependable hardware in the last decade alone. Lenovo deserves a second and third chance. This hardware manufacturer is incredibly reliable. They're not my style personally. I like my PCs to look almost like they came from a different planet. So I'm an Alienware person, ASUS, MSI, all that crazy stuff. But Lenovo, you can have Lenovo. But I just wanted to talk about the performance degradation of the Lenovo Legion Go compared to the ROG Ally. Like I said before, the Legion Go just released. Give it time. It will perform the same, if not a lot better than the ROG Ally. And if you don't care about the Legion Go's size, then you should be completely satisfied with the device. But Lenovo does need to work on Legion space a lot, because a lot of people are saying that it feels underbaked and like beta software. And that wasn't really said about Armoury Crate SE when the ROG Ally came out. Most people actually appreciated the software, and it made scrolling and navigating through Windows 11 a lot easier. And that's saying a ton. But with Legion Space, a lot of people are saying it makes it more difficult, and it just doesn't feel good to navigate through. Now, Armoury Crate SE, till this day, still has certain issues and hiccups. Sometimes it does lag. So Legion Space has a long way to go, possibly the entire year, until Legion Space works as they intended it to, or as everyone else expected it to. So don't expect it to be a few months work and a fix right away. This is going to take possibly all year to get started for a proper fix for Legion Space. But yeah, what do you guys think of Legion Go's performance, the software and the hardware? Is the native portrait screen a deal breaker for you too? Or do you just not care about resolution compatibility with your handhelds? And obviously Legion Space is going to get better, but let me know what you think about Legion Go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good one. Later.